Hello. So I'm going to be working on another little sequence from the Your Body's Listening literature, which is for the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is here in the middle of your body, and it's often pictured as a yellow sunshine because it is all about power, energy, willpower, things like that. So if you're feeling a bit fatigued and a bit low, then maybe that the energy is not getting through or passing through or being fed by the solar plexus. And I love the solar plexus because this is one of those ones where you can do moves that are really, 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 really challenging, and you can do moves that are really, really easy and flowing. So it's kind of like let the energy flow and savor what you need, but also put willpower and determination into them. So I think a lot of people like yoga because there's a lot of moves for the solar plexus that brings in strength. A little bit is like strength training. So we're going to get straight into it. So this is going to be tough. So what we're going to do, a balance position, also known as Warrior 3. So put your hands on your hips, little contraction through the front of the body, take your foot out behind you, put your hands on your hips, and as you take your foot out, you want to be leaning forward at the same time, so you've not got your arch in your back. So as your foot comes out, you lean. It's like a tabletop kind of thing. Okay, now spreading your toes is going to keep you rooted. By pulling up on the supporting leg, you're going to feel very, very strong. So what we're going to do is lift the foot up, and as we move the foot up, the body comes down. We're going to keep the head level with the ground, but kind of take the gaze 2 or 3 meters in front of you and bring the body forward. And here we go. Now you can do what you like with the hands. You can take your hands out in front of you. It is about balance. Or you can take them out to the side. So let's do that out to the side. So if we start out to the side this time. The thing is with balance, this is a challenge for me today because some days my balance is absolutely perfect. And then other days, it's terrible. And I'll tell you why. You've got a lot going on in your head, a lot going on in your heart. You feel unbalanced, your body will be unbalanced. But we might find I do better on the other side. So I'm joining in with you this difficulty. So let's take the body forward. Sometimes quicker is better. There you go, this side's much happier. There we are. See if we can reach the hands out in front of us. Big deep breath in. And return. You can hold it for as long as you need. I'm not going to take my chances today. There we go. It's a challenging one. I can feel that in my body. Now I'm going to do it all again to see if I can challenge myself. I'm in it with you, so let's do it again. So let's take ourselves down. Find that position. It's not happy on this side. That's it. And come back up. Now, right side is your masculine side, left side is your feminine side. So obviously my willpower is struggling today, and my more easy fluid side is much better. So let's take it back out again. Let's come down. I think the more times you practice it, the more your brain goes, oh yes, this is okay. I can do this. So, let's just have a nice little movement. Okay, we're going to do a nice revolving lunge. Now, we place our feet down, and so we're going down into our Warrior 1, but actually bring ourselves into a Warrior 2. So Warrior 2, nice open position, knee over heel, foot's kind of parallel to the edge of the mat. Reach the body up. Make sure your hips are kind of level, opening, pushing the hips forward. Contracting up into your solar plexus, big deep breath in, and we can come down, and if we can, we're going to go all the way down and reach up. Now this is your basic number 1. However, what we can do is we can challenge ourselves. So if we come back up, I'm going to turn so you can see it's the same leg. Back into your Warrior 1. Sorry, you're looking at my back. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to come down And we're going to bring the arm down, touch that elbow down, hands into prayer, and push and open. Open up those shoulders, space through the body, contracting. That's it. And release. So there's your kind of variations. It's taken a lot of strength out of me today. I didn't expect it to, but it is quite warm. So we're going to move on. Called plank. It is a chaturanga where you move through from your up dog to your down dog, but it's actually, we want to hold the position. This is kind of an isometric move, so we want to hold yourself in position. So we're going to get down into a plank position. You can do with this with your knees down if you are new to this and this is a bit of a challenge, but I really want you to kind of force yourself into doing something more difficult because it is about willpower and determination. So to start with, fingers out in front of you, and we're going to do it so that we're in a plank, knees down. And this is quite an easy pose for the moment. Our hips aren't dropped too far and our bum's not in the air. You want to get to the point where you can feel your tummy muscles are just beginning to react. You want to contract your hips together underneath the body and hold. Now, this is a very, not beginners, but it's probably not the right correct positioning for other moves, but we're going to bring the elbows down and see if we can come all the way down to the ground. And we're not going into an up dog, we're going to lift the tummy off the floor first and then lift back up, a bit like a press up, and then release. Now, okay, variation. Hands underneath shoulders, knees off the ground, feet in line, round through your shoulders. Now push your weight forward over your, so you see that? So you push the weight so your shoulders are no longer over your wrists, they're over your fingertips. Elbows down and hold that position. Breathe. Exhale. Inhale. And if you can, push back up. Oh, and you can end in a down dog. That's quite a challenge. And then walk your feet back in. Oh. There's so many ways. I'm not going to do it in this video. There's so many ways to actually achieve a chaturanga with using blocks underneath your shoulders and things. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to go through the boots with you, enough for you to give yourself a practice at home. Okay. Should have stayed down really, because the next move is our upward dog. Now we've got a few different variations, and I know from teaching students that everybody has different abilities. So I understand how difficult this can be. In fact, what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves a little bolster, because I think it's going to be helpful. So you can do this with a cushion, a rolled up towel. Tight rolled up towel is always good. If you come down, make sure your hips are nice and level, shoulders are nice and level from the ground. Place your elbows underneath your shoulders and come up. Now, there's a lot going on in the lower back here, and I know there's a lot of my students that can't lift their head and they struggle here. So I always say to them, if you just squeeze your bottom and your bum cheeks towards each other, it just gives your lower back a rest. Now, I know that's not necessarily how everybody teaches it. I understand that, because I know a lot of it, people want you to be passive so that you can feel the stretch through the front of your body. But if you have no curve in your spine, or I say no, that's silly because we all have a natural curve, but if you really have had an accident or any problems, just a little squeeze is just going to help train your body to get to where it needs to go to. Now from here, we can index fingers facing forward, little fingers out to the side. Index fingers facing forward because it's a pre-marker for other moves like handstands and forearm stands and things. So we can push off the ground and come up and lift the body. Again, squeezing the bum is going to take the pressure out the lower back. Taking the head back, open up the chest, open up the midriff of the body. And back down. And you can repeat that a number of times. The reason I've got the bolster is because what you can do is pop it underneath your hip bones, in between your hip bones and your pubic bone, drop that down. And that feels a lot nicer. However, what we can do, if we've got something to support the hips, if we come up, we feel a bit more supported. But we can actually walk the hands back and give the body some more movement. Now, what I like to do is bring the elbows in Draw the shoulder blades down the back and lift and open the chest in this way. And then breathe, open up the shoulders, take the shoulders down away from the ears and release. A full up dog, bringing the hands back and lifting the hips off the ground. But if you've got the bolster underneath your hips, you're still going to be able to achieve the same sort of result, but with a little bit more support underneath the hips, so you're not floating around here. And you can move the hips a little bit. Big deep breath in, lift the chest towards the ceiling. Straighten the legs. Little squeeze underneath the glutes. Shoulders down away from your ears. Open up the neck and the body. And then release. And then treat yourself to child's pose. And look, that bolster's just in the right place for me to put my head down onto. Oh. Lift your head up, walk your hands back. Oh. Give yourself a little moment because there's quite a lot happening in the spine and the front of the body there. I actually had a spinal injury and a neck injury, and I've had to work quite hard to get my spine flexible again. But it is practice, consistent practice, that's going to make all the difference. So don't punish yourself. Don't punish yourself if you don't have a flexible spine. Don't punish yourself if your stomach's not flat, or you haven't got a six-pack, or the sides of your body aren't as strong as they should be. This is why you're doing it, not only to build yourself up, as in, energetically and find that willpower, but also to build yourself up physically. But more than that, it's all about your mindset. And don't be judgmental about yourself. Your solar plexus and your heart work together. So if you're judgmental on that and you're kind of putting too much energy here, you're forcing things, you're going to have problems. Whereas if you kind of open up your chest, say, I'm just working towards it, but I'm determined. Different mindset, different energy, different vibration. Let's come back down onto the mat. And we're going to go into bridge pose. So I like to bring my ankles quite close towards my bottom and hands down by the sides. Not central. There we go. Now, if we just arch the back slightly, big deep breath in, and then lower your lower back in towards the ground and push it down. And you're going to feel there's quite a lot of contraction here. Squeeze the bottom and then gently lift and push the bottom up towards the ceiling. It's going to open up this area naturally, but the squeeze is here. I always say, imagine you've got like a £50 note between your bottom cheeks and you do not want to lose it. So you're squeezing as hard as you can and pushing your hands up. If you feel you can, you're going to lattice your hands together and draw your shoulder blades in, and it's going to open up your solar plexus and your heart chakra quite nicely. Big deep breath in. Exhale. And again, keep squeezing the bottom, should I say, let's be posh, and exhale. And again. And exhale. These are always nicer because you're nearer the ground, so if you need to come down, it's not so far to go. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and just open up your lower back there by having some movement. And then release and come back up. That's quite nice actually, to flush out the spine, is to roll through the spine and just work through the spine there. Anyway, just let your hips have some movement, let the body weight back up. Just contract your tummy muscles as you rotate through, and it's going to stimulate and work through the solar plexus there. Take your hand down to one side, let's reach over. You can do this standing if you need to. And then exhale, inhale over the top. Exhale, inhale, bring the hands up over the head, draw that energy all the way down to the solar plexus. Namaste.